welcome to Raymies Garage. We're back again at Apprentice Pat's car. A wee bit of a slight different problem this morning, and I'll let you see that. So, the problem he's got is that the audio video button is greyed out, and we can't do anything with that. The parking sensors don't work because of that. I think there are other things that do work, like the cameras come on and off. It might be a slightly different problem. These seem to be working, but there's no audio. Does the actual audio work at all? Any radio?
No,
nothing, no radio.
No audio, no DVD.
And no parking sensors.
No sound at all.
No sound. So, what we've done, or what Pat's done, is, let me get out the car, is the amplifier. And the amplifier in this L405 is under the passenger seat. And we've already had the passenger seat out, we've taken the amplifier out, and we've got the amplifier sent away to be refurbished to allow us to put this refurbishing back in again. So rather than videoing that, we'll just video putting the seat back in, and we'll see if it solves that problem. So the best option to do this is to take the seat out. You could put the seat back, but we've got some of the bolts out already. So there are 4 bolts. There's a bolt there, there's a bolt over here, there's a bolt at the back, and we've also got to remove this trim here to get into here so as we can remove the seat in total. What I would do is, when you've got your seat, or you're taking your seat out, is to make sure you tilt it up towards the front of the car. It's much easier to manoeuvre it in and out. So if we've got the back bolts out, Pat.
So the back bolts are out.
And when you're doing this, you've got to make sure you're able to slide the seat back and forward, because you can't get into the bolts if the seat's fully back, so you need to be able to move that. And that's the other side of that trim off for that.
There's the trim there.
Oh, there's the trim. It's the B pillar trim in the side.
That's got to be removed to the carpet to be removed.
And you've obviously taken that trim off as well.
So you can take that off.
Which is the extremely scratched Range Rover Autobiography. So these bits need to come off. We've got the bolts out, so we'll now try and see if we can get the seat out. It's connected underneath the seat. I think there's about 5, I think there's 4 or 5.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
And once you're in there, you should check that airbag like seat. If you can identify which one that is.
That's
that big fat one there.
I think it's either that one.
No, it's one of them.
Is it one of these? Is
the
that
waste one?
That one there. One with the purple and yellow.
That's the airbag.
That's the one that gives you all the problem with the SRS light.
Right, okay. So is that all the cables off?
So the cables are all off.
So it's just a matter of now taking the seat out. And the amplifier lives under here. So it does. Right, so that's the seat out, and that's the wiring loom for the seat. And this is actually the wiring loom for the amplifier. And it's under here. So let's try and get some of that out a wee bit.
This is why you take all this off to get access here. So it is.
Right, okay. So where does it sit, Pat?
It sits on.
Struggling now. That plastic bit comes off.
It sits under here. So it does. This. I need to take the wee bolt off here.
Right.
There's 2 wee 10mm bolts, and it sits underneath here.
So one of the common things that happen with this amplifier is, I believe, and you'll fill me in, is there's water gets in there.
Yep.
From the
drains
for the sunroof. But when we took this one out, it was pretty dry, as you can see.
And the company that I sent it to only fix it if there's no water damage.
Right.
If there's water damage, you see, you've got to replace it.
Right, okay.
But mine's, what was happening was the defective circuit board was causing a power surge, which kept blowing the fuses.
That's like an optical cable, isn't it?
That's the MOST system.
Right, okay.
MOST system.
So if it is successful, we'll get the description and the web link to the company that does that, and we'll give you a bit more detail. You need to take these 2 wee 10mm bolts off. Two. It just slide off there.
Just held on with these. If we had the wee
tool to get them off.
Aye.
But it goes in there.
So they 4 bolts there. They 2 bolts and they 2 bolts is where the amplifier sits.
Oh, these bolts here.
Aye.
Okay.
The wee studs.
Right, so we'll get the new amplifier, or the refurbished amplifier, and we'll get that off to make it easier.
This is the original amplifier. When I inquired about a new one from Land Rover, it was £1,700
Really?
for a new one. So I've done a bit of research. I phoned a couple of companies, one in Glasgow and one in Edinburgh, and none of the 2 of them refurbished Land Rover amplifiers because they haven't got the test equipment to do it. So this one, I found a company in London called Motortronics.
Is there a label on it?
It's a label on the box. Let's see.
Motortronics.
So they're based in London, so they do a service and they'll take your amplifier and test it and do whatever repairs necessary and send it back to you. Cost is £400.
How much is the new one?
1,700.
Yeah, okay.
I could have went on down the eBay or Amazon route, but they were between £500 and £1,200.
Did you get a guarantee with that?
2-year guarantee.
Oh, that's alright. Right, let's get it fitted then. So it literally just bolts in there. Sits there, and I take it you've not lost the
No, I've got them here.
bolts for it. Is you better plug it in first, or?
I'm not sure. Look at maybe if I think of that.
Don't want to be too delicate. So there's all the cabling for it there, which are all here. I would suggest maybe try and plug that in first. So we better put the cables in first, you
So the last one you want to put in is a power cable.
Right, okay.
Okay, so that's the optical system. Right, so then there is
What colour cable did you do that?
there's the grey one there. So that'll go in like that. The big green one.
Make sure you're not looking them over each other.
Okay, and these 2 here. They look quite similar actually.
They probably only fit one way, I'd imagine. Try one in, we'll see.
No,
No.
so that goes in there.
There you go. So you can't go
You can't
wrong.
really put them in wrong. Right. Now the last one is the power one.
Is this fuse still out it?
So I've got the fuse still out it.
Right, okay.
Okay. So once I put this in, that's them all in.
Okay.
And that goes on there. That goes there.
And what is that?
I'm not sure what that is actually.
Some kind of module into it, maybe. Should have had a better look at that.
I took photographs and everything, but I just couldn't figure out what it was.
Right, okay.
Effectively that's it, reinstalled.
Get the bolts in then.
Put the, wait a minute, hold on. The installation's quite easy, it's just the getting to it's the problem.
Aye. So if it's for £400 and it works, it's probably worthwhile doing that. At least you've got 2-year guarantee with it, it's not costing you £1,700.
Aye.
Do you want to test it before we put the seat in? Because, well, you're well putting the nuts on there now, because you're not going to take them back off, are we? If it doesn't work. Well, it does work. Okay. So we could put the fuse back in, just to see if it works, or do you want to put all that back together again?
Probably put the fuse back in, I would imagine.
Right, let's go and put the fuse back in and we'll see which one it is. So this is the fuse for the amplifier, and clearly that's been off a number of times. don't know which one it is.
I'll show you one it is, right? I need to know to get in.
Right, let's have a palaver at the back of.
Right, so the fuse is, see that one there?
Right.
It's the one to the left of that.
Well, what did you point to that one for there? Oh, the one that's out, right?
See that one? See that one that's there?
Right.
The one that's sitting next to it. That's so it's the 40 amp.
Right.
That's actually a replacement from Halfords, because
Right.
I tried that fuse in the amplifier and it blew it. That's how I know what the symptoms were. Every time I was putting a fuse in, it was blowing.
Right.
So I had to replace that fuse, but that was the only one I could get at the time. But it's exactly the same, 40 amp. So it is.
Stick a new one in. Collection of fuses.
So that's a 40. The green's 40, and it's this style of fuse.
Right.
It's called an FL.
Let me see if there's silver here.
Are you ready?
Mm-hmm.
Really good fit that actually, that fuse. That's it. That's the fuse in. And it's intact, it didn't blow.
Oh, it didn't blow till we put the ignition on.
So
Right, so we'll try the ignition on. Let's see if it powers up. Nothing. Well, that didn't work, did it?
And to, well, did you just get elbowed out the way? Did you just get pushed out the way in that? It also seems to me to cut across a kind of core.
There you go, it's working. Maybe just needing time to boot up. DAB radio. BBC Scotland.
Any sort of pragmatic, deal that has to be made
There
in
you
the
go.
US.
It's working.
Because I think one of the challenges here about those
Okay.
leaders who are in ascendancy at the moment, and we can all see incumbents are struggling around
TV.
the world.
There's a channel. Oh, let's see. Oh, that was it.
that's the video, that's Toy Story.
Oh, that's right, okay.
So if I go back here and go to here and go to digital TV,
I think living in Scotland, we've got BBC Scotland.
You should be doing.
Oh, we do.
So that's the first thing.
so there's BBC
The second
Scotland.
thing is
So it works. That was a success then.
So it is
Worthwhile
working. So,
spending £400, was it?
so I got the security of using my own,
Uh-huh.
because it's the amplifier that came out of the car, it's been repaired and it's been put back in with a 2-year warranty for a cost of £400, which was the cheapest option that I had
That's
actually,
good.
although it was still a lot of money.
It's probably something simple that's wrong with it.
They say some of the circuits can go bad and it causes a power surge, and it's the power surge that causes the fuse to blow.
Right.
When the man from Motortronics contacted me, he says, if the amplifier's blown the fuse, we'll fix it.
Uh-huh.
If the amplifier's water damaged, we can't fix it, you need to replace it. Fortunately,
There you
mine
go.
was the one that was blowing the fuse, but it's as dry as a bone in there,
Aye, it's certainly,
as you can see.
it's certainly dry.
There's no damage to the cables or the amplifier or any sign of dampness at all.
Right, okay.
So if you do this yourself and you take the amplifier out and it's all water damaged or corroded, this company that I use will not fix it. They can't, apparently, it's unrepairable.
Okay, and we'll stick the link in the description
Right,
of
okay.
and the video.
But mine seems to have been a success, which I'm quite pleased about.
Good. Let's get the seat back in then.
Okay then.
Magic.
See. Just try to do it with my left hand, that's the thing. 4 and 5. That's them all in.
Okay, right. So it's just a matter of pulling that down.
Straight in.
Straight in. And these bolts, so you've got to put these bolts in first, slide the seat forward and put the rear bolts in.
E14.
You got the socket with you?
No.
And the other one,
Put the ignition on.
That was, of course, Elon Musk's new role in the US government. What was he using and Liam? What was the other story? We were Let me check my answers. That SMD guy. Sounds ridiculous. It's the right answer. Well done.
right, that's that. So
Right, so I'll put the, I need a T50 torch to put the seatbelt bolt back in.
So that's them all back, all the trims, everything working, hopefully the way it's supposed to work. Yeah, so that's us, seats back in again, we'll get our illuminations out, yep, that to the apprentice to put away. And so that's how you replace your amplifier, which is under the passenger seat. And again, I say I'll put a link in the description of Motortronics, the company that Pat sent us away to. So if you've got a problem with your amplifier, you don't see the audio options on there, check out your seat, have a look at it, see if it's wet. If it's not wet and it's blew that fuse, that might be your problem, and this looks like the best and most cheapest option. So that's us for now, and we'll catch you on the next video.